Know that you literally worked on this album while you were doing the Eras tour, which is mind-boggling. I think to everybody who hears it, that you were doing this like a seminal tour and also like working on this. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So like when my question is when do you is it harder when you know there's a snake in the house?
I actually sleep a lot and I sleep often. It's just that I don't do anything other than this when I'm not asleep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not, I don't have a lot of other things.
Blake Lively is often seen as someone who tries very hard to stay in the spotlight. Many people think she uses her connections with famous stars to keep her name relevant, even though her own career hasn't been full of big successes. She has starred in several movies that didn't do well at the box office, and some critics say her fame today is mostly tied to who she knows rather than what she has achieved. One recent example is her involvement in It Ends With Us. Some say she took over the project in a way that nearly ruined it. Despite that, the movie made a lot of money, but this was mostly because the book it was based on had sold over 10 million copies and had a huge, loyal fan base from author Colleen Hoover. The success wasn't really about Blake's performance, but rather the popularity of the original story. At the same time, Blake has reportedly been working hard to shape her public image through her team and alleged sources like her publicist Leslie Sloan. One of the main stories being pushed is the idea that she and Taylor Swift might still be close friends or even reconnecting. This idea started spreading when fans noticed small clues, or Easter eggs, in Taylor's new album. For example, some people saw that Taylor wore a bracelet similar to one made by jewelry designer Lorraine Schwartz that Blake also had, and they took that as a sign of friendship. Other fans pointed to song lyrics written before the two supposedly stopped being friends as proof that their relationship was still strong. Online gossip pages like Dumois, which happens to share the same talent agency, WME, as Blake and her husband Ryan Reynolds, added fuel to the rumors. They claim Taylor and Blake recently met in secret and were on good terms again, but no solid evidence ever appeared. There were even stories saying Blake attended Taylor's album release party, which turned out to be false because she wasn't there. Many people online have tried to connect these dots, suggesting that maybe the whole falling out story was made up as part of a PR strategy. According to this theory, pretending that Blake and Taylor were no longer close might have helped Taylor avoid a messy public situation. These kinds of smoke and mirrors tactics aren't unusual in Hollywood, where image and narrative often matter more than truth. In the past, Hollywood studios have gone to great lengths to control how their stars are seen. For instance, during times when it wasn't acceptable for a leading man to be openly gay, publicists arranged lavender marriages, fake relationships meant to make them seem straight. Similarly, studios sometimes paired two rising stars together to boost their fame, even if the romance wasn't real. Because of that history, fans often assume that celebrity friendships and romances might not be genuine. So when Taylor Swift writes lyrics about ambition, friendships, or betrayal, people quickly read into them and decide they must be about Blake Lively. The internet turns every small clue into a theory, keeping both women's names in conversation, whether the friendship is real or not. I never believed any of the recent rumors about Blake Lively and Taylor Swift being friends again. I said before that unless I saw a real photo of them together, I wouldn't believe a word of it. I expected that someone from Taylor's team, most likely her publicist, Tree Payne, would eventually release a quiet statement through the media denying these claims. That kind of response would not surprise me, since Taylor's team has always been careful about protecting her image. Back when I still had some contact with a journalist from the Daily Mail, he showed me messages between himself and Leslie Sloan, who works with Blake. Those messages showed Leslie trying to make Justin Baldoni look bad in the press. The journalist also told me that Taylor's team had said, very clearly, that her friendship with Blake was completely over. He even showed screenshots of conversations with Tree Payne confirming that Taylor wanted nothing more to do with Blake. According to him, many stories about their supposed friendship problems came directly from Taylor's representatives. The message was simple. Taylor felt used and would never reconcile with Blake. Even so, people on the internet refuse to believe that their friendship is finished. Fans keep convincing themselves that the two are secretly close again. Blake's side hasn't helped either. Her team continues to spread small hints and gossip that make it seem like they might be reconnecting. But recent reports from Page Six have stated clearly that Taylor hasn't had any contact with Blake since the legal issues involving Blake, and it ends with us director Justin Baldoni. The media often exaggerated their relationship, calling Blake Taylor's best friend, but Taylor has many close friends: Gigi Hadid, Cara Delevingne, Selena Gomez, and others, who have been part of her life far longer. Blake tried to make her connection to Taylor seem more special by naming her as a godmother to one of her children. However, Blake has also said her sister and her sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars are godmothers too, which makes the whole thing seem less meaningful. On top of that, neither Blake nor her husband Ryan Reynolds are very religious, so it's unlikely the children were baptized in a traditional church ceremony. This makes the whole godmother title appear to be more symbolic than real. Many think Blake did it mainly to strengthen her bond with Taylor for attention. Blake and Taylor's friendship reportedly fell apart after the lawsuit drama. Text messages were released that showed Blake referring to Taylor and Ryan as her dragons, a phrase that made it seem like she was using Taylor's fame for her own benefit. Taylor was uncomfortable with that and felt she had been dragged into a situation she didn't want to be part of. She's said to value sincere relationships, so feeling exploited by someone she considered a friend really hurt her. The journalist also told me that Taylor's team had said, very clearly, that her friendship. Sources close to Taylor have claimed she's still upset about how Blake used her name during her professional conflicts. They say Taylor will likely never forgive her for treating their friendship as a tool for publicity. While fans may keep hoping they'll reunite, it seems clear that their bond has been broken for good, and both have moved on in very different directions. Do you really think Taylor Swift's team would deliberately spread stories claiming she's angry forever at Blake Lively, that she felt betrayed, or that she was shocked by what Blake said in her texts? It seems unlikely. When Taylor's lawyers were involved in a legal case last September, they clearly stated that she was not taking any side. In legal terms, saying "we take no position in this dispute" means she doesn't support either person. If she were still close to Blake, she probably would have shown loyalty or even acted as a witness to help her. Instead, Taylor chose to stay neutral. That says a lot about where she stands. What makes this more interesting is that the lawsuit involved accusations of sexual harassment. Taylor has always been known for standing up for victims of this kind of behavior. Years ago, she took a DJ to court after he groped her during a meet and greet. She won the case and became a symbol of courage for many women. She also helped other artists who went through similar experiences, like when she donated around $250,000 to Kesha to help her in her legal fight against Dr. Luke. Because of that history, it's hard to believe Taylor would suddenly stay silent if she truly believed her friend was telling the truth. That silence speaks louder than words. Some people online have their own theory. They claim Taylor isn't staying quiet because she doubts Blake, but because she might be hiding her own involvement in the behind-the-scenes drama with the It Ends With Us movie. These conspiracy theories suggest that Taylor was secretly part of the problems during production and now wants to distance herself from it. But that idea doesn't hold up. During the time all of this happened, Taylor was fully focused on her world tour and starting a new relationship. Her schedule was packed, and she was clearly focused on music, not movie politics. Fans also try to connect Taylor's latest album to Blake. They've said some tracks could be about her, thinking the lyrics reveal hidden clues about their relationship. Others believe the songs might actually be about Sophie Turner, Gigi Hadid, or even Brittany Mahomes. The truth is, Taylor is very smart about how she writes. She uses vague lyrics that can apply to many people or situations. Unless a song directly points to a specific person, there's no way to be sure who she's referring to. Based on the album, there's no sign that any song is about Blake at all. Taylor's team has quietly tried to make it clear that the friendship is over, while Blake's side seems to be the one keeping these rumors alive. It feels like Blake's team wants to link her name to Taylor's for publicity. The difference is that Taylor doesn't need that kind of attention. Her latest record has sold more than 4 million copies in its first week, one of the biggest openings in the streaming era. She's already one of the most successful artists in the world. Blake, on the other hand, seems to benefit from the speculation. There was even talk this week that Blake worries about how losing Taylor's friendship could affect her husband Ryan Reynolds' image, showing how much they both may have used Taylor's fame. For now, nothing new has surfaced about the leaked audio connected to the lawsuit, but one thing is certain: Taylor and Blake are no longer close, and the friendship that once existed appears to be over for good. Leave a comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update.